Hello everyone, welcome back to Gold Paddling Pool 210. I am Spy, joined here by the amazing Broken Pinky. Hello. And we are going up with Missclicks against Booyah Subs. Did I say that right? Yeah.
Yeah, we do have Missclick versus Booyah Sub. Thank you for that introduction, Spy. We're going to be starting things off on Zones Museum here. An interesting one for sure. Spy, got some thoughts on the stage?
I like it. I really like it, even though it has the thing in the middle that you can paint. And I'm true to that
What's
opinion.
Wrong with Spinner? It's just spinning.
Yeah, no, it's there's not a problem with Spinner. I just don't like it when zones have the thing in the middle where you can paint, because it's annoying to paint the zone that way. But I feel like Museum dealt with this pretty well. I feel like it's definitely the best map with a spinny thing in the mid. I know it sounds weird, but that's just my craziness.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely go as far as to say is Museum is the best map in the game, considering all four modes. It's just amazing in every regard, so I love to see it. I'm gonna love to see it on zones. I'm gonna love to see it as we get right into game one between Booyah Sub and Missclick. Let's see these comps a little bit, see some of these new meta trends if possible. See Leader, Stamper, Splash Machine coming out versus ZNF, Carbon Deco, Neo Splash, and T-Tech. Very interesting comps all around.
I mean, Missclick does have a really meta-heavy comp. I mean, Splatana Stamper, even though it got indirect nerfs, is still a really strong weapon. And I mean, Splash and Machine, of course. And I feel like E-Leader was also in the meta to begin with. I'm not sure, though. And yeah, you know, Booyah Subs also got that Zekofin charger, just like the one team was Haze in the last game. And Carbon Deco, which is really strong for this map, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like it's interesting to see both teams rocking a charger, though, considering I feel like Charger's been on a bit of a downturn as of late with, you know, the much more fast-paced meta in favor of stuff like Siege and Heavy. So both these teams are going to be rocking that charger. Definitely an interesting choice, but they seem to be pretty evenly matched right now. Just in the first 50 seconds or so, this point total really has not gotten too far down, but Missclick has most of the control in mid right now, and Booyah Sub doesn't really have a comp that's great at retaking, especially with that Carbon Deco that is only really good once it has control. So they're gonna really struggle to get control back, especially as they're 2 down right now.
Yeah, and I feel like once they just kind of expand their turf even more, it'll be even harder for Booyah Sub to just get in, and especially if they utilize that crab tank really good, then Booyah Sub will definitely have a problem. But right now, it seems like Booyah Sub will actually go in, especially because Missclick has a player disadvantage. And just like that, Missclick got a penalty, and Booyah Sub is on their way to working off their points to get that tasty lead.
get that delicious lead, and all of a sudden Booyah Sub has control now, and I feel like their comp is much better at holding control with that Carbon, but that Carbon's actually going to lose that 1v1 to the Splatana Stamper, which is a massive, you know, loss of momentum for them right now. And I mean, Missclick starting to get some control back, but right now Booyah Sub is able to get that player advantage once again, and the Charger holding a lot of control down here in mid, but I'm kind of expecting them to get on the spinner, and there we go, Kit Kat on that spinner, trying to control the enemy plat as Booyah Sub is getting close to taking that lead.
Yeah, and right now we just see the Splatana Stamper using the Zipcaster to just kind of get some distraction or maybe some picks, but right now it doesn't seem like Splatana Stamper is really doing that well. But as we see, Booyah Sub actually got the lead, but right now is kind of on a number disadvantage. So it seems like this push is definitely over. And just like that, Missclick is on their way to getting the lead again, as they definitely want to extend their turf more. And even if that Splatana Stamper just went down, I feel like they could definitely do this if they just get like a crab tank or something and just kind of space out that Zekofin charger maybe.
Yeah, but I feel like this has been a very back and forth match on both sides, you know, clearly taking each other to the brink right now, and I feel like right now great set underway, but Booyah Sub has that control right now. The T-Tech's trying to move up a bit with that Carbon, trying to stay safe in that machine. Meanwhile, this Charger on the plat gets the snipe on the leader, which is absolutely massive. Missclick not having a leader is going to make it so much easier for Booyah Sub to move around, and this Charger Kit Kat still pushing so aggressively with positioning just because of how good ZNF is at that. And right now, Booyah Sub getting close to getting that knockout, almost through that penalty, but Missclick is going to come back with a valiant push and get that zone back once again.
And the Zekofin charger is just trying to protect itself. I feel like that glass kind of pedal there is just a really popular spot to just kind of hide. For some reason, we've seen a lot of people hiding on this glass. I don't know why, but I feel like that's just a strategy that they may use. I don't know. And the Zekofin charger is absolutely being stalled out right now, but they are perfect at stalling their execution out with that splash ball. And right now, Booyah Sub just kind of wants to get some. I lost the word.
Yeah, but now Missclick has that lead, and Missclick is close to getting that knockout. Missclick is going to get this knockout here and now, actually, and that's the game going to Missclick. That felt kind of out of nowhere, not gonna lie.
I feel like the Carbon was really struggling. I mean, they didn't really have a lot of paint nearby, I feel like. We really oftenly saw that Carbon just being around that glass and just kind of getting picked off because they didn't really have someone around them painting for them, or they just didn't have enough range to kind of counter the other enemy.
Yeah, I feel like Carbon is only really good on this map if you get control of the enemy plat, and that's where it's dominant, but the only person from Booyah Sub we got onto the enemy plat, I believe, was KitKat on the ZNF, so that lack of control really made it hard for the Carbon to do much, and we saw, you know, Missclick able to take advantage of that beautifully, get a very nice knockout in the 11th hour there, and all of a sudden they are up 1-0, but these teams are very evenly matched. This is definitely going to be a great set, and we're going to continue this set on Zone's Inkblot with a thing in the middle that you can paint. Sply, what are your thoughts on that?
Zone's Inkblot is overrated.
Damn!
No, it really is, not just because of the thing in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. Zone's Inkblot is okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad. There's worse. There's much worse. But there's also better.
Also, you were like talking about how the gameplay of Splatoon 3 is a lot more faster, and I feel like that's why Zekofin could really replace E-Liter in the meta, because E-Liter is a really slow charging weapon, and I feel like Zekofin with its high mobility for a charger and really great kit could really step up their game if they. Like, if Nintendo decides to maybe nerf Crab a little bit more, then I feel like Zekofin could really have a place in this meta. And I would hope so. The weapon is really cool.
I think even now, E-Liter's been on such a downturn in this new, more aggro meta that ZNF has overtaken it, but I still think, in terms of backlines, C-Jet and Heavy are just a little bit better. But obviously ZNF excels because it pretty effectively counters both C-Jet and Heavy, so definitely an interesting triangle going on between those few weapons. And it's interesting to see how the backline meta has been changing up, because it was pretty stagnantly on leader for most of this game's lifespan, but now there's starting to be some good variety here, and we might see some of this variety as we go into match point between Missclick and Booyah Sub. Let's take a look at these comps. Missclick can be sticking with same old, same reliable, and it looks like Booyah Sub is going to as well.
Did they have a splash before? I feel like I just didn't pay attention. What the hell?
No, they had a Neo Splash last game. They had a Neo Splash
last game. Oh, yeah, you're right. So they just kind of switched up the kit, so that's okay. Okay, the Zekofin charger is immediately getting picked off by that Splatoana Stamper. They really have to shark that ledge or something. And right now the Carbon is really up for a 2v1 and unfortunately lost that.
Oh my god.
And the Crab Tank also lost the 2v1. That is really unfortunate for Booyah Sub, especially because Missclick does have some good control. Even if they have a number disadvantage right now, they continue to just paint the zone, and especially that Splatoana Stamper is really good at spacing out the enemy, even if it does get picked off by that Splash-O-Matic. And right now it seems like Booyah Sub is actually gonna extend their turf and get the zone. Just like that. That was really fast-paced right now. Really props to them. Oh, the Zekofin charger just got picked off again. Okay, that was funny.
Even in spite of that beginning of that game where Booyah Sub, to be honest, was just feeding into Missclick one by one, they were able to get that zone back. They have that lead right now, but it is a fleeting lead, if anything. Missclick has a strong numbers advantage right now, have a lot of control. KitKat on the ZNF is really struggling to position as well as they were in the last game. And, I mean, the leader here, Carlax, getting a lot more value here. The Splatoana Stamper trying to go behind enemy lines with that Zipcaster, but gets taken out, but is able to just put some more attention on them, just to distract away from zone a little bit. Missclick is continuing to push that timer down, and we are now below the 50-point mark. So Booyah Sub is kind of, you know, letting this get away from them a little bit here. They have to move back to the zone effectively, but KitKat's just going to get sniped by that leader.
Yeah, and I feel like just that Zekofin Charger being sniped a lot by that leader. That leader is absolutely menacing right now. They got so many picks, especially on the Zekofin Charger. And just like that, you know, Booyah Sub doesn't really have a good weapon to hold control for them. Like, a lot of space. It just constantly gets picked up by that leader. And just like that, Missclick actually really... They just really, what's the word?
I keep forgetting. Dominated that match pretty much.
Yeah.
That's a clean 2-0 for Missclick after a very, very contentious game 1. Missclick just said to put it all away, and I mean, that's exactly what they did. I feel like their comp was just a little bit better, and their play was just a little bit better, and Booyah Sub couldn't really catch up to them, especially in that game 2. So it's going to be Missclick taking the set 2-0 over Booyah Sub.
That was an intense matchup. I feel like the Zekofin Charger could have really done good for Booyah Sub, but as we saw, it was just constantly getting picked off by that E leader, and just like that, they basically had a 3v4 because the Zekofin didn't really have that much to do, especially after being picked off a lot, and that E leader was really taking advantage of that.
Yeah, the combination of, you know, a ZNF that was getting picked off a lot and a Carbon Roller that didn't really have any paint to work with. Booyah Sub just didn't really have any of its parts working cohesively, so unfortunate for them, but they still have time to bounce back. They still have a chance to get another win in their pool and potentially make a bracket, but we're going to get back to this tournament after a short break. We're going to come in with the last round of pools, so oh, never mind, we're actually just going to keep talking for a little bit. Maybe talk a little bit more about the meta. We've already talked at good length about the backline meta, but something I feel like I've been really wanting to see so far is a feeding comp.
Yeah, that's really what I'm looking forward to, because as we've seen like in a lot of tournaments, Tri Nouveau is really not a bad weapon, and I feel like I just see a lot more teams actually using it, and I don't know, but I kind of want a kind of tacticaler or QR meta, because I feel like it would involve a lot of fighting, and me as a Slayer, I just love fighting people.
Oh yeah.
Sounds so wrong.
No, I feel like this is the point of the game where people finally come fight me, bro. I say fight me, bro, and they come fight me. It's so fun.
Yeah, especially compared to Splatoon 2 meta where no one can move.
Oh my god! Don't even talk to me about Splatoon 2 meta. I don't want to think of that wretched game any longer than I have to. Because we're in a much better game, much better meta, at least in my humble opinion. I haven't really seen too many complaints about it on Twitter, so that's got to be a good sign as well.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a lot of friends who think that the Splatoon 2 meta was better, and I have no idea why you would think that. Why the hell? I'm sorry, but I'm just really a bigger fan of metas that involve more fighting and less not being able to move.
I mean, Splatoon 2 was just like, okay, at the beginning of each match, you really have to wait for about 10 seconds, and then you get your missiles, and then you get your armor, and now you can play the game. Whereas in this game, it's like, in that 10 seconds, oh, it's already 1 versus 2 left in mid. Oops.
Yeah. I mean, I just sometimes see myself getting picked off by that Rainmaker bubble just because I was like 1 centimeter in front of that freaking Rainmaker bubble shield. I mean, playing Splatana has really put me into this feeding kind of play style, especially using brush, and I feel like that just kind of applies to my T-Tech now as well, because I constantly get blown up by that Rainmaker bubble. I hate it.
Yeah, but with that discussion out of the way, I think we are going to go to a short break, just some more food for thought, but that being said, we're going to go to a short break before we come back for the final round of pool, so take care, see you guys there.
Splatoon Stronghold, a stronghold for competitive Splatoon, providing resources to long-timers and newcomers alike. If you're new to the competitive scene or still figuring out how to join, we have a getting started guide and plenty of other resources to help you in your journey. If you are a seasoned veteran, we still have plenty to offer. You can find and join tournaments as well as participate in our Captain Forum and find free agents and teams. Our mission is to make competitive Splatoon easily accessible to everyone. So what are you waiting for? Join the Splatoon Stronghold today!